Hi, I'm Carrie. I'm a resident Georgia agent in all lines, and I carry my life and health in most. Last week, I saw several questions about the life insurance claim process and some good conversation from it. I asked if you guys would like me to share a claims process and some tips, and several said yes. I've spent the last year working at a life insurance carrier in service, and I'm leaving it to go independent in life. I've learned a ridiculous amount about not only selling life insurance, which I still do, but the enforcement of a life insurance contract during the policy life cycle. First, I wanted to start with who can own a life insurance contract on someone. Carriers set their own rules within, but of course, these must be followed. They're federally regulated. Direct family members, mom, dad, siblings, and grandparents. That's pretty much it. This isn't mom who raised kids since they were 5, it's mom on the birth certificate. If they're not on the birth certificate and you don't have a signed carrier issued form for that person to own life insurance on them, signed by the birth parent, don't sell it. If that person dies, they don't have insurable interest and they're not going to get paid. Okay, now when someone passes away, first, call the carrier yourself if the family notifies you. It's just awful for them to go through that. It's a business transaction. Leave it to us if you can. Here's how the conversation should go with the family member for you. The family member calls in and says, Ted passed away this weekend. You say, I'm so sorry to hear of your loss. My condolences are with you and your family at this time. I do need to get some information from you to notify the carrier. I'm going to take care of that for you. Then they're usually going to say thank you, kind of babble a little bit, let them do that, and then you start. You need to know when they passed, how they passed. You don't need details, just natural, accidental. If it was accidental, you're going to need police information. Just try to get it from them. If they don't have it, that's okay. You're just getting as much as you can. You also want to confirm historical data. This is important. It expedites a claim. I've seen a lot of people say it doesn't matter. And if you don't get it, it's fine. We'll figure it out. But it matters because it expedites the process. Life insurance claims are just verifying data to take it to the next step. So once you get the information, you call the carrier and you're just getting information. It's like a first notice of loss on a car or home claim. You're just giving it to them. Generally on day 1, they can't tell you anything. They're not going to be able to tell you the benefit amount, the listed beneficiary, any of that. They're going to tell you when you can call back for that information. And they really can't tell you. A lot of agents buck on this and fight. It's a compliance thing. These people are recorded. It's just what they're instructed to do. So call back. Please have a fax number. They really act like it's 1992 in life insurance claims. A lot of them don't email. So please have your fax number ready just to keep things moving. Life insurance claim processes can be drawn out. The more information you have from the beginning, the better it goes. From there, there's different types of claims. First is guaranteed life. This is a whole life policy with a 2-year graded death benefit period. If they die within the first 2 years due to natural causes, their beneficiary gets a refund of premiums plus whatever the company says. Sometimes it's 10%, sometimes it's 20%, whatever. It's outlined in the contract. You should educate the client when they buy it of this. But this is how it works. It breaks down like this. John pays $112.50 a month for his $15,000 guaranteed life policy. He dies in month 22 of the contract. His beneficiary would get $2,722.50. They generally just need a death certificate and a claimant statement, which is something the company sends to you. It's often titled proof of death. And the claim is processed. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty quick. There's not much information needed. We have proof of death. We're not paying out anything plus what they paid in plus interest. Non-contestable. This is a policy older than 2 years old. It's not gone through reinstatement in the last 2 years. It's pretty straightforward. They ask for information, you give it. Generally, it's just a death certificate, proof of loss. They might ask for a few other things, but nothing crazy. because they can't fight you. It's a non-contestable loss. The only time it could be a process is if they maybe were committing a crime, driving drunk, things like that. They might ask for more information to show that it's a covered loss. Last is contestable. I call this the shit show. This policy is less than 2 years old, or it's an accidental policy, or the claimant is fighting a non-covered loss, which is a very real thing, especially on accidental policies. They can ask for just about anything. They'll need authorization forms from next of kin, they'll need medical records, paperwork filled out by doctors, driver's licenses, agent statements, so many things. If the policy is contestable, you need to let your beneficiary know this is a process and it's not fast. I don't ever sugarcoat it on a contestable claim when I speak to a beneficiary. I just tell them what it is. Sometimes it's straightforward. Somebody bought a term policy, went through medical underwriting, was fine, all well and good, and got cancer and died, or was hit by a drunk driver and died. They didn't cause the loss. Contestable means you are able to check the validity of an application. Was the application true and honest? Was it a covered loss? If it was those things, it's paid. But it's not a fast process because they actually have the obligation to their entire organization and to the insurance commissioner to make sure it's a covered loss. Finally, common questions. I hear these a lot. The first is the beneficiary's dead, who gets the money? This really depends on a few things. First, who died first? Did the insured die first or did the beneficiary die first? It goes to whomever's estate was the last to pass away, its last survivor. The insurer will need a letter of appointment or small estate affidavit for whomever's estate it ends in to administer the proceeds of the claim. What about when the policy owner is not the same as the insured? This is super common. Wives buy, policies on their husbands. Grandmas buy it on their grandkids, whatever. And sometimes they don't name themselves as the beneficiary. They name their children, things like that. Well, what happens if dad's the insured, mom owns the policy, and the son's the beneficiary? The son passed away in a car accident 5 years ago. They never let us know. Okay, and then dad passed away. He's the insured. In that situation, mom as the policy owner would get the money. A really good example of these is the Gerber Grow Up Plan. Grandparents buy them all the time. They name the parents as the beneficiary. And then when something happens to your grandchild, they're super upset about it. So just make sure you explain that. It's really important, and it is really often a point of being upset. Allstate in particular sells these plans a lot, and I don't think it's well explained. Please name a contingent. This really is not optional, even though it is an optional box. Just do it. Even if they name their own estate, don't leave the question of where the money is going. People get really weird about money. Really weird. How long does a claim take? A life insurer has 30 days to pay a claim once all information is received. They can ask for more information and that 30 days starts over again, but they have 30 days once they don't need anything else. Don't be afraid to stand your ground on it. These people will drag their feet, no lie. That's really all I had at this point. I would love to be a resource for you guys if you need support during a claim. It is really complex sometimes and it's super frustrating. The one thing I would really hope is you guys try to help your beneficiaries as much as you can during this process. I know a lot of you just casually sell it as property and casualty agents, but life insurance is important, and it's really the ability to earn a client, because guess who you know is getting a big fat check? For real, the best sales I've ever had are when I tell someone a check's on their way to them. I have sold so much on that phone call to people that I've worked with. Not only that, it's the right thing to do. It is being of service, and that's really what we're here for. So if I can be of service to you guys, just let me know. I appreciate it, and have a great Monday.